Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you live. You're just blinded by the brilliance of this brand new haircut on this young man. But it is talk on Thursday, Keeping It Rio. And you got Chuck, Jeremy, Eric. We're going to have many more throughout the course of this episode today. So hopefully everybody's doing good. How are you guys doing? Eric, how are you doing today?
Good.
Dude, I like your haircut, man. That's slick. Who cut your hair? Who cut your hair? Let's give a shout.
Henry.
Where's he at?
Oh man, I never even know the name of the place. It's this old barber shop that's where I first moved down to Texas, on the corner, like by 5th Street and the Loop. And I don't know, I went there one day because I always would just go to random places, and I never liked the haircut. And I was like, I'm gonna try a barber shop. Been going there since. It's all the way across the town where I live too.
It's well worth the drive. I can clearly say that's the best haircut I've seen all day. So
I love it though. He takes his time.
Yeah, I mean it's even. It's awesome.
The only thing, I have a widow's peak. I don't like that, but whatever.
I'm totally bald, so I don't want to hear too much about it. But anyways, how's everything going in Tyler, Texas today?
Good, Matt. We signed one today, which was good, and Colin lined up a repair job. Like, we've been talking about this one a little bit, but we finally got it taken care of and lined up to happen. So pumped. A pretty good day. I picked up a check yesterday. So, tried to go live. That was really cool. He told me you never know, this one neighborhood where I've been, met some crazy cool people, and this guy had an airplane. So I met him at his hangar yesterday, and that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I've been able to do that once myself, so that's pretty stellar. Eric, I'm sorry for what I did. I totally covered you up with that comment there by Joy. I'm sorry. But Joy says, what's up, Rio Blanco Roofing, Tyler, Rio Blanco Roofing College Station. Joy, what is up? Let me bring Eric back here.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, so anyways.
But yeah, it was cool. The whole seeing his plane and all that.
You gonna get to fly in it after the job, or what do you think? Are you gonna negotiate that?
Did the job, and I was asking about it. He said he's been working on some things to get it flying a little bit better, but it was a little plane. He said it was only a couple roofs.
Yeah, I bet. How many you're gonna hit when the engine stops on it? Yeah, I was on a plane this past Friday myself. I was flying back from Oklahoma City. I went to do a training with a roofing company over there. 777 Roofing and Construction. Shout out to them. But on my way back from Oklahoma City to San Antonio, I was on, I'll just say it was American Airlines because I'm never flying on it again. So let's open up the floodgates. American Airlines, for like the 15th consecutive time, screwed up my flight completely. We sat on the runway in Oklahoma City for over an hour before we could move, right? And after about 40 minutes or so, the pilot came on and he gave us a very reassuring speech. And he basically said, ladies and gentlemen, the mechanic, while doing the walkthrough, found something wrong with the aircraft. And he's like, but don't worry, we're hoping we can get it fixed pretty quick and we'll get you going. And, that nothing more reassuring than before you take off, knowing that there's something that might not be right. So sure enough, they didn't even care. They just took off. I guess hopefully we didn't die, but our safety wasn't the utmost importance at that time, I suppose. But yeah, I don't recommend flying in a plane that you don't feel very comfortable in, because that was the worst flight of my life. I was even in first class and I was scared. It was like, thought you're not supposed to get scared up there, but yeah, good move. And I've seen a lot of those little planes crash. I used to work at the Ohio State Airport, and
that's crazy.
Those things wreck a lot, man. Like, guys forget to put the landing gear down on them. That's the most common reason for a wreck.
When I was in high school, one of my friends worked at an airport when he was 16. When he turned 18, he got his pilot's license, and we ended up, it was just a little 3-person plane. Me and him and another guy, we flew to a casino an hour away in that plane when we were all 18. I still can't to this day believe my mom let me do that. But yeah, we flew a little plane. I flew the thing for a little while we were up there. And yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, we flew it to the casino. They pick you up, gave us some chip money, and then we went back and flew back to New Ulm, Minnesota. David Ferranta. the pilot.
Fronta.
Shout out David and that Fronta. That's like, it's a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
Good for you, David. So we also now have another special guest. I'm pretty excited for this gentleman to join our program today. And we've also got another special guest coming up after this. So without any further ado, this gentleman comes with a different moniker every single week. He's always got a different name that's very pertinent to whatever's going on in the world. Today, it is an absolute honor and pleasure for me to welcome Solar Joe to the show. What up, Solar Joe? How you doing?
Hey!
So what, last week we had, what's that?
Oh, he's got the
When
snake.
Eric was telling his story, all I could think of was, do you want a Fronta? Do you want a Fronta?
I like the orange myself. It's good stuff. So Solar Joe, every week we've got a topical name for you. This is the first time we've seen the moniker of Solar Joe. Why don't you do us all a huge deal and tell us what is up with your moniker? And I'm also going to invite the gentleman who's been in San Antonio with me all day and is on his way back to Tyler, but found his way to Keepin It Rio. We've also got Mr. Clint Koppel. So why don't we'll start with JoJo since he's not driving and it's much safer. Why don't you give us a little insight into what this new name is all about?
That is because we have officially launched the solar side of the company. Well, it's technically a separate company, but all in the same. So solar is pretty large in several areas of the country, not quite so much in Texas yet. And we definitely see a need for there to be some good quality and prevalent solar companies in our areas. So we decided to step into that market, and we got a good partner out of California, Matt, that has for a long time had some solar experience from his time in California, and obviously it goes hand in hand with roofing. So we think it's going to be a pretty awesome venture that we're going to get into. We're going to be able to help more people.
Yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. And I know every single person at Rio Blanco, I talked with Jeremy and Eric today, both, and everybody's excited. I always love when I get random
I think it's
texts.
just a for everybody. The tax credit benefits, hold on. Someone wants to join. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's our best friend, Sailor. How are you today, sweetie? I like that dress. It's beautiful.
Is that a pretty dress?
Thank you, I bought it.
Thank
You bought it?
Did you
Oh,
buy
man,
it?
that's awesome. Where'd you buy it at?
How much was it?
How much was it?
You don't know?
You don't.
Save all your money for it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I did.
You did? All right.
I love it. I
Well,
love it. So with the solar deal, like what, I'm not super familiar with how solar works. We haven't really gotten a whole lot into it just yet, but to what extent are we, ASAP Solar and Rio Blanco as well, part of the deal? How are we going to be able to service our clients in ways that maybe other roofing companies can't? Are there anything that separates us from the pack?
I think that with most companies that are kind of jumping into it in our area and a lot of other areas, what they're doing is they're not actually starting their own solar company. Basically, they're just selling it through their organization and then passing the work off to another company. And, that company may be good, but it may not be good. They don't really have control over the entire process. What's different for us is that we actually own the solar company, and so we have complete control over the labor, everything. So that I think is the main. Okay, hold on. I think that's the main thing that's going to differentiate us between a lot of the other companies.
Can I sell it?
She wants to show you guys her aerial.
Ooh, yeah. We love Ariel.
Water and But yeah, I think that's what's really separate us from a lot of the other people. All right. High five. But I think it's just kind of lost my train of thought there. But I think really where the benefit's going to come in is, you know, in roofing, you get a lot of retail customers that come in and maybe they want to put a new roof on their house and they've never considered solar. Well, if they're already coming in expecting to spend the money on the roof, well, what we could do is we can package the roof and the solar together for them. And by doing the package, they get the 26% tax credit on not only the solar system, but also on the roof. So the roof that they were already going to pay out of pocket for, because when combined with the 26% tax credit of the solar, almost becomes free at that point. So they can take that money they were going to put towards the roof as a huge down payment on the financing of the solar in the roof, and then get a 26% tax credit on the whole thing. And it almost makes that roof free. And then they're just financing the solar panels, which essentially are going to be about the same price as their electricity anyways. So it's a pretty awesome advantage that we're going to be able to offer to people that come in.
Man, I got goosebumps just listening to that. That's so exciting, and I'm so proud to be a part of this whole thing because that's way, way, way better than most. So congratulations. I want to bring Clint on here as well. There we go. And Clint, why don't you give us a little bit of your take on it? And first off, thank you for the last 3 days being here. It looks like you just got home, maybe, or
dude, I did. I literally just got home. I was getting out of the truck. I got this little weasel following me around with spaghetti all over his face.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I actually, when I got out of the truck, I couldn't hear you, so I had to log off, but I heard most of what Joe said. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day with the solar deal, the difference really that I see, to add to what he was saying and kind of along the same lines, because these companies are basically just subbing that work out. They're it's kind of like, and not all of them, but most of them around here, what they're going to be doing is the sales reps are just going to be getting like a commission because they're banking it out to another company, and that company is going to pay the sales rep, and then that other company goes out and does it. So I mean, the warranty issue, like the person that sold the job isn't the person you're going to have to contact if you have a problem and need it serviced. The same thing, you get a storm that comes in, a bunch of hail hits the roof. Well, now you've got to call that roofing company and then call that separate solar company. Now you're dealing with two separate companies again that have to coordinate everything and work together. And you really don't know what you're getting, right? So it could be good, it could be bad. You don't know. Where with us, like Joe's saying, it's all in-house. So storm comes through, you've got the warranty for both of them through the same company. You've got the same company coming out, coordinating everything. You got the same guys installing a roof that are installing the panels. So, I mean, it's just all around. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. And then obviously, you know, our partner in this, he's had his business for over 15 years out in California, where it's extremely, extremely strict on the laws and the regulations to even run and operate a company out there. And the standard is just so much higher. And so just the schooling alone and what it costs to actually pull that off out there is so intense, you know. He's more than knowledgeable in the areas that a lot of people out here may not be as knowledgeable because they're not having to take the same test with, you know, 2,000 questions, where out here it's like 150 questions, you know. So it's just a big difference on quality. Obviously with our roofing, it's the same deal, you know, like all of our people are trained before they ever even step foot out in the street. So, I mean, there's a lot of pros to it, working with us, of course. And I'm not saying all companies, you know, don't train or are subbing everything out, but the majority in this area, from what we've seen, that's what's going to be happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the one-stop shop concept, and I mean, I can't wait. I'm super pumped about that. So I know Clint, he's been traveling. Thank you for taking time to be on Keepin It Rio. I totally understand if you want to bounce to spend a little bit of time with your family. We ate lunch today in San Antonio, and Clint just got home. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I am gonna jump off here. Let me get my shout out real quick, man, and tell you what my win was. My win for this week, man. Dude, obviously the solar is a huge win. We've been working on that for quite some time now, and it's not an easy feat. And I'll tell you right now, like hands down, JoJo and Matt have done a great job at being able to get all the paperwork done and all the back end stuff, because that's not what I deal with. I'm on the production side, so hands down, JoJo's really stepped up his game and just hammered that with Matt. And they got that knocked out quick, like quicker than I thought they'd be able to do it. So great job to them. My other win for the week, obviously, man, is just coming down there and seeing your team. I was real surprised today to see a lot of those guys there in the office when we got back from eating crab legs. And they seem like a bunch of real stand-up guys, man. And the fact that, you know, we had that pallet of shingles to move out of my truck and load into that trailer, and everyone just jumped right in and worked together as a team. And that's very valuable to see something like that with a bunch of different people that just work together. So that was really cool. And getting to spend time with you guys, man, and just going over all the systems and operations and procedures. That was really good to do that with you guys. I had a great time. My shout out's going to go to Mr. Jeffrey. Mr. Jeffrey, dude. He's also known as Jeremy, but we have officially renamed him Jeffrey. He needs to change the name on the deal here.
I'll get it changed.
But yeah, man, I mean, you've done a great job, Jeffrey, putting together this team and pushing through and making things happen, man. I'm extremely impressed with your character and the adversity you faced and the decisions you've made to go all in. That's what it takes to be a real leader. And I am just humbled to watch people like you in this industry, you know, start where you started and become a real leader and start changing other people's lives, man. That's really cool. So yeah, that's my shout out for the week. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys right now.
Man, yeah, we appreciate that very much. And Joy did ask us if we could tell the story about the name change. So Jeremy, Jeffrey. Clint, whoever wants to explain why Jeremy is now called Jeffrey.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
I think
no, Jeffrey, you got to tell it. You just got to come straight from you, buddy.
I like the way Chuck tells the story because
he knows it. I'll tell the story. So we brought Jeremy into Rio Blanco, the first guy that I ever hired for the company, and he was down here just killing it, doing his thing. Obviously, we're a little bit of ways from the Tyler main office, so we didn't get to see the guys all that often. And I remember when Clint and JoJo came down here, and JoJo knew Jeremy's name, but Clint didn't. And I think he did, but I think he's just messing with you. But Jeremy was like really like super bothered by the fact that Clint could not remember his name. And I'll never forget, he was like, dude, he's like, one day that guy's going to know my name. And that day was not today. Jeremy is officially Jeffrey. We had given him several names. We changed the spellings and did all kinds of stuff. And so he's actually Jeffrey with a G. That's Geoffrey. Yes, Geoffrey. So that's the story of why Jeffrey is Jeremy and Jeremy is Jeffrey. But I do think Clint actually does know the guy's name. And I think if Jeremy and Clint saw each other in public, not in the office, that he might recognize you. So you finally made it, buddy. You finally made it. So that's a great story. We appreciate that. And like I said, thank you, Clint, for the last 3 days being down here. I picked up a lot of stuff that's going to help. Jeremy did. We're going to have us a really solid team, get everything built up, and this thing's going to be a superpower. So we appreciate that sincerely.
I'm really wondering if we ought to rename you Two-Pack. Should we do it, Chuck?
Okay, yeah, y'all can name me that if you want. I mean, we have to like change the spelling. I do not want to be confused with Tupac. That could definitely not be a good thing for me.
Pull back, yeah.
We'll call it
mine's like two and then PACK because hey, I was just proud of the fact that I've got like a 2-pack of abs going on right now. Like up top right here, boy, I am solid as can be. Like nothing beyond that.
In the car today, and 2-pack keeps bragging about how he's lost his weight. Now he's got a 2-pack. So yeah, that one might stick, man. That's a pretty good one.
Well, I'm gonna try to be a 6-pack before it's all said and done. We'll see.
All right.
Probably not going to get there. I've been drinking 6-packs, but yeah, so that's a good story. Clint, we appreciate it, bud. Thank you for taking the time and doing all that. Go inside and enjoy your family. And
All right, guys.
this
Have a
is
good
one
night.
thing that
I'm
we
gonna
can
go hang
say
out
on.
with my kids.
Yeah, one thing we can say on Keeping It Rio is, can you just say hi to the monkey for us?
I will. I'll say hi to the monkey.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good evening.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Cool. So, Clint, JoJo, Eric, we got Jeremy, and then we've got a special guest that we're going to be bringing on as well. So we'll hit Jeremy up on the top. Jeremy, what about your week, my friend? What about your wins? What about everything awesome happening in the world of Rio Blanco here in San Antonio?
Yes, sir. San Antonio is doing good. Like Clint said, we do have a new staff. We've got about 4 new guys. So it was good having all the guys here today doing a little training with you. I know that was special for them. They got to kind of meet Clint a little bit. And then the training with you today was pretty spot on. Definitely can see these guys, eyes light up a little bit, kind of get the bigger picture of what Rio is. And I like the question that you asked, what was your first impression of, coming into Rio, and everybody's saying that we're welcoming and that, they felt like family right off the bat. So that just shows you what kind of company we are. And it just makes me feel good that these guys are ready to work and they're excited to be here. So they are family. So we want to take care of them, and anybody else that wants to come along, we're here. So
absolutely. That's at all locations.
Yep.
That's a huge win. And I came down yesterday so I could be here today to, go over stuff with you and then spend time with the team. I'm going to be here tomorrow. And then I've got an appointment Saturday morning here in San Antonio to get another homeowner on the board, do a good deal with them. But I'm super impressed with the new guys as well. And I was here when they were hired for the most part. But yeah, I mean, we've got 4 guys was it 4 or 5? There's a whole bunch, a whole wave of new guys in here, and every single one of them looks completely solid. Everyone's paying attention, asking great questions. Just
we had 7 guys today here, so
we had 7.
Yep.
Yeah. See, I mean, I can't even count that high. Take one of my shoes off to get the 6 and 7, but yeah, I'm very impressed with that, and I think life's going to be pretty good here in San Antonio. So. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a special guest Keeping It Rio this evening. And this guy's been sitting there. I told him he was going to be on after like 5 minutes, and that's now 23 minutes in. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Keeping It Rio fan base to a good personal friend, someone that I've known for a few years, someone that a few of us here on camera know, and someone that I think everybody should know. So we're going to do our part to make this guy a household name. Ladies and gentlemen, I did mispronounce the town of Morgantown earlier. He's actually from Morgantown, Indiana, not Morganville. I'd like to welcome the owner of Tailor Made Roofing and Construction to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Taylor. What's going on, Chuck? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Chuck. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing awesome. I just got a text message from my gutter guy. My gutters are going on my personal house in College Station right now, so life's good.
That's your win for the week.
Right. So, hey, welcome to Keeping It Rio, Chuck. Why don't you tell our audience exactly who Chuck Taylor is and what's going on in your world?
Chuck Taylor. I'm the owner of Tailor Made Roofing and Construction here in Morgantown, Indiana. And it's all about quality, man. At the end of the day, I mean, that's what it is, helping people. And it's just doing the right thing by people is what we do as the services that we provide. And I mean, I'm excited, man, dude. I got butterflies right now, so I appreciate the invite. Everybody on screen, I appreciate you, JoJo. How you been, sir? Good. Always good to see you. Not much, man. It's always good to see you. Always. But we're like everybody else, but we're not. We do a lot of the same services, but what keeps us separate is uniqueness, and that's what we are. We're unique. I'm unique.
Absolutely, man. There's only one Chuck Taylor. The dude with the basketball shoes ain't it, man.
No, he's passed away a long time ago. I took his legacy.
I was going to say, I actually believe the shoes now are named after you. So congratulations on that. Got you a shoe deal.
If the shoes aren't, that is.
There you go. I love it. So,
I mean, it's just the same quality. So, I mean, we're good.
Absolutely. I'd run 1,000 miles in a tailor-made roofing to get to one of your projects as well. So, Chuck, why don't you kind of start back at like the beginning? Obviously, you've got your big business, tailor-made roofing and construction. You're doing amazing. I'd like to start off by saying I'm super proud of you because we've known each other for a little while, and you've probably grown more than any human being that I've known in the last 3 years. And that's why you're on the show tonight, because I want you to share some of your story of perseverance, some of the obstacles you've had to overcome, not just professionally, but like, you know, as far as you'd like to go in depth, because I believe that your life story is like, that's something that should be a movie. And someday maybe there'll be a Chuck Taylor movie. I can only hope at that point that I can actually play Chuck Taylor in the movie. So throwing it out now and requesting, when we do your life story, please let me be you. Why don't you kind of give us a little bit of backstory as to, you know, what your history was, how you and I met up, and you know, kind of where things have developed with not just your business, but, you know, life in general. What got you to the point where you're now looking down on top of the mountain saying, man, that was a crazy climb, but we made it. We're here. We're still looking up, and we still got a lot to go. But I think we've all come a pretty good distance in the last 3 years. And like I said, you've grown more than anybody. So why don't you give a little insight into your background, your history, and, you know, what got us where we are?
Well, a little bit about it. I won't go too far in depth and detail, you know, but like most or some, I've come from a really bad background. My mother was taken from me when I was 4 years old. So I felt like, you know, growing up, a lot of my destiny was already set in stone. And so I lived that mindset all along. And it took me to trying to stay numb all the time. I had a real bad addiction to cocaine. And through that addiction, I had gone to prison not once, but twice. The first time I just didn't learn and still had that same victim mentality as somebody owes me something, and I'm going to get it at whatever cost it you know, whatever it takes. So that mindset sent me back to prison for 6.5 years, and I was looking at 12 years, and I got out of it. I got my GED while I was down, so it was all about, you know, at that point in time, the day that I got arrested, I finally said, I'm done. And I should have been dead the day that I got arrested. I was in an accident that rolled a Chevy Blazer about 8 times. After I'd been arrested, I'd been in contact with my father, and he had told me, he said, son, I don't know how you made it out of that alive, let alone without a scratch on you. And I answered him then. I said, I do. It was God. God had his hand on me. And I realized it. Maybe not at that point in time, but as my 6.5 years started going and dwindling away, and I'm there by myself, and I was like, you know, who else do I turn to? And it's God. And so I accepted it and took off with it, you know. And there was no better feeling. So that void at that time, the void that I had, that I was seeking to try to keep numb all the time, was then fulfilled with God, the Holy Spirit. And he's carried me a long way. Every year since I got out has gotten better and better and better and better and better. And so I say all the time that this is me. It's me putting the footwork in. It's me doing the work and being committed to our brand, to me, to myself, and to everybody out there, especially the ones that's in this and a few of you guys, it's a couple of you guys that's in the screen right now. And it's just like, you guys have become my distant family, even though we're not affiliated anymore, I should say, because we're getting ready to get to that. But we're still affiliated. And so anyway, through the times, each year getting better. I told my wife I was a commercial installation specialist for the largest commercial roofing company in North America, based at their office is here in Indiana, and I worked with them for 6.5 years, and then I blew my back out, and then I went over to the home building, home maintenance side of things, and then in that transition, my wife and I moved down to Brown County, left Indianapolis and moved to Brown County, and I had ended up getting a job with an individual that's still in the industry today. He's doing great. He's a really good guy. And he had came to me with an opportunity that he had on the table to be in sales, roofing sales. And I was kind of skeptical like everybody else. It wasn't really skepticism. It was just the thought of how am I going to make it? Okay, here I'm making pretty good money. I'm making really good money working with you. And I said, okay, he came to me again. So basically what he did was planted the seed. He came back to me again about a week later and asked me, he said, hey, have you given any thought to that? And I said, well, yeah, I've spoken with the wife. She said, yeah, I've always been good in sales. Maybe it's something I should actually go for. And so I took that advice from her. And I told him, I said, well, yeah, I could do it as long as I'll do the sales, 100% commission, I'll do that as long as I could still do this on the side. And he said, yeah, you can do this, knowing that once I got out there and started experiencing it, I probably wouldn't want to keep pushing forward with that, moving forward with with that. And so I went all in, and I made it work. I didn't know anything about anything at that point in time. I was all completely brand new. I was actually, if JoJo remembers, I was in contact with JoJo, was how do you get the total numbers of square on a roof? How is that? I mean, what's the formula? Tell me with the formula. Tell me the secret. Tell me what it is. And I was completely brand new. When it comes to installing a commercial system, I could tell you exactly what it took. But as far as a residential, I had done probably 5 residential roofs in my life, and I can guarantee you right now what I know now, they were all installed wrong. And so through all that, it's just continual knowledge, commitment. I had done something. Let me fall back. That company that I was working with, that I had the offer for to work with, was ASAP Roofing and Construction out of Tyler, Texas. And I got on board and I killed it, and I was killing it. I was actually on track to my main goal. My main focus was to sell that 100 in a year, because I wanted that truck. That was my drive. That was my push. That was that I didn't have one. I had a little Ford Ranger XLT with the back window missing. And I used an ASAP sign to keep the water out when it was raining. That's what I had. And now just every year they just gave me an opportunity, man. And that's all it was. They opened their business to me. They opened their brand to me. They opened their experience, their knowledge, their leadership, and everything else that goes along with that. And that's one of the reasons why I've been so faithful and loyal to ASAP and now Rio. And I've always considered ASAP part of my family, because when I got brought into the to the industry, I haven't been with nobody else except ASAP. And ASAP taught me enough at the time to where it was like maybe I did 3-4 months in the field selling. Is that right, JoJo?
Sounds about right. Yeah, roughly.
And then but then I had done something that I thought was morally and ethically right by the client, which was hands down, it really was. And but what I know now is against the policy. And I can completely understand the reason why now as an owner. And, but anyway, I looked at it as, you can look at it something like that. And I got, let me fall back again. Sorry, I like to jump ahead sometimes, but consequently, we terminated a relationship with each other. Chuck was there at the table that day. That was a hard day for me to accept. And so I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. I mean, I have no choice. And a lot of people can look at it as two different ways. You can look at that situation two different ways. One can be, damn, man, I just got fired, blah, blah, blah. This life sucks. And what am I going to do? Oh, what was me? Blah, blah, blah. First thing I did was I was looking for a new adventure right away. And I was wanting to team up with another company that's also from Texas, a really good friend of mine. But at the end of the day, that wasn't where I really needed to be. Where I really needed to be was right here under Tailor Made Roofing and Construction. So while I was out there, he actually told me, he said, why are you wanting to do this with me when you have just enough talent and skill to go out and do your own thing? So he was really, really encouraging to me at the time and still is. And so I give thought to it, and I was sitting there trying to think of, what name do I have to come up with? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm tailor-made. I'm tailor-made. I'm 100% tailor-made. So the company that I start is going to also be tailor-made because it's made by me, 100%. It's all, again, I run it. I put the footwork in. I do all the work behind the scenes, along with my team that I have on board right now. And so, but it's something greater than me. This is something that's actually being run and driven by God. Because this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where He's put me. This is the position that He's put me in, and I'm going to continue to grow with it. And anyway, we come up to, let's see. I came home. Did 6 months as a new company, new construction company, new tailor-made roofing and construction here in Morgantown. Everybody thought it was a joke, I guess. But I pushed forward. I did a few roofs that first 6 months. I think I did maybe 5, and I thought to myself, come Christmas time, and I'm wondering, how am I going to do this? But I had gotten at what I did was I lost focus. I lost focus and started going over to the remodel side of things, and got caught up in that trap. But so then I got a phone call, bro, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I said, not much, man. I'm just going to quit, dude, I'm going to hang it up. This isn't for me. I'm struggling so bad. I don't know how I'm going to make ends meet. I don't have rent money. I don't have anything. I just lost my office. They don't, and here I am. I'm like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? He said, well, it sounds to me like you need to come back out to Texas this time for 3 months. I said, okay, let me talk to the wife. It's February. I'll talk to the wife, see what's going on. She said, all right, yeah, you can go on back out there. I don't care. So I left. And while I was out there this time, I made a trip. I knew I was going to make the money. That wasn't an issue. My true reason of going out there was to discover, just really see if this is where I'm supposed to be. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? What's my purpose? And so this time while I was out there, I had an opportunity to stop by ASAP's main office there in Tyler. Spoke with Mike Coday. Got to meet him for the first time. Spoke with JoJo for a little while. Clint, touched base on how we were doing, how I was doing. And kind of gave me a little bit of clarity in my transition into becoming an owner, not a worker, an owner that values my time. And my time is something that, once we have invested it, it's something you just never can get back. So you might as well get the most out of it while you're doing it, right? And so I've learned that. I apply it to my everyday life now. I'm the owner. I'm not the construction worker. I'm not the, we have people on our team for that. That's not my job. That's not my business. That's my business is to run my business, and do the best job that I can and providing the best services for our homeowners, with quality material and quality craftsmanship, I should add to that. And that's the mindset that I live every day that I wake up now. And knowing that, yeah, I could be that one that, man, I want to lay in bed today. I don't want to go do nothing today. I got 3 roofs going on. I don't need to work. Nope. No, I'm just the exact opposite. I'm driven every day by the want and the need to help somebody new every day. We don't do a lot of insurance work. We do predominantly a lot of retail work. So in saying that, it's a different ballgame. And I've learned that side of it. And it's great, man. We're thriving. We're moving forward. We're doing the best we can and continue to grow. And it's just not about growing the business. It's more about growing yourself, being more productive to yourself, to get the most out of yourself on a daily basis. And that's where I've come to. That's where I'm at today.
Yeah,
So.
no doubt, Chuck. We'll circle back around and get a little bit more in depth on some of that stuff. But I wanted to check real quick with JoJo, Eric, Jeremy. Anybody have any questions you'd like to ask Chuck while we've got him here? The next part of the story is pretty incredible. So, like, anything that we're doing right now that y'all want to pitch in on a little bit? No, Jeremy wants to. There you go.
Come on, Jeremy.
Yeah. I mean, damn. Listening to that story, it sounds like, any one of us might have folded, with all that adversity. It's awesome to see somebody really, use that as motivation. But what was your motivation? What was your why? How did you get through all those tough times? I mean, like I said, I think most people would have just folded. So I love adversity stories. That's my thing. So,
well, that's a good question too, man. So what I've used is the fact that the day that I got in that accident, and I actually literally got out of that accident without a scratch on me, and then the other events that led up to the day that the time that they actually found me and put the cuffs on me. When I said I was done, I knew at that point in time that God had his hands on my shoulder. So that's one of my main drives. It's always, doing the right thing by just about everybody and everybody that I come in contact with, and do it unconditionally. When you do things unconditionally and don't ask for or don't seek reward from it, the rewards are going to be there. But once I got to, when I learned, or when I got invited to ASAP and to join their team, what they taught me was my drive became helping people. I've always had that inspiration to help people. When I got out of prison, when I was in prison, I was thinking along the lines, when I get out, I go to Ivy, go to school, go to college, get my associate's degree in sociology. And I wanted to help people. I wanted to help young youth, is in particular troubled youth, and that's still not out of the question. I'm working toward that right now, and trying to put some things together to be able to help the troubled youth, some of them, and teach them an art and a skill, to be able to have something in the future, and changing their mind, help change the mindsets. So, but my true drive and my true passion, I would say, was to be able to get out and help people, man, and do it unconditionally. And when I do my training, I always train on the fact that if you go, and it just doesn't mean help somebody solve their issues on a roof, or an issue that they have in their home. It means that no matter where you're at, if somebody needs help crossing the street, stop traffic to help them across the street. If they need a shoulder to cry on, or an ear to talk to, just be there for them, man, and be there unconditionally. And that's when the true rewards actually start paying off. You know, we always say God don't like ugly, you know, and always keep it real and keep it true. And you'll be blessed at the end of the day. The blessings will rain down on you. I mean, look,
living proof, no doubt.
Proof.
I do want to take a quick second to give a shout out to, and I think it would be a huge public disservice if I didn't point out that JoJo now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't even know how many. What exactly is going on over here? What's the occasion that you're being decorated for?
Taylor, what's going on? Why are you decorating me? Oh, that's just on the face.
Oh, nice. She's got
everywhere.
a very well-defined vision. You're looking good, man.
Too,
I'm not gonna lie. You're frozen or me?
Would I look good? Would I look good with some? No, they're frozen stickers. You know.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, oh no.
Styling.
Yeah, you're looking really good. I mean, no doubt.
Tats? Can I get some face tats over here?
I'm gonna get you a little Rio Blanco one you can kind of put underneath your eye or something, or on your neck.
There we go.
That's what I'm working at. So that's pretty cool. I wanted to point that out, and I wanted to go back to Chuck because you were talking about something there, right, just a couple minutes ago that really is big, and that was the mindset shift that you had from being a worker, and then the realization that in the new position that you're looking to be in, the new life that you're trying to build for yourself, that wasn't exactly the persona that you wanted or needed. So why don't you tell a little bit about the day that you and I sat down in Indianapolis, because we met in Indy. I worked at ASAP in Indy as well. Like Chuck said, I was there, you know, my last day there was actually both of our last days there. But the one thing that really stands out to me was probably a couple weeks before that, you and I were just talking, and we were, you know, I think we might have even been in the truck going to look at a job or something. I don't remember what, but I'll never forget the conversation we had. And it's something that I think changed both of us really. But I definitely saw a major change in you just a few days later. I went to Miami for 10X Growth Con. And when I came back, it was like a totally different guy. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that conversation and the mindset shift that took you from being Chuck the installer to Chuck the owner of TaylorMade Roofing?
That's awesome. You just did a show about this too. Well, I remember vividly. We were actually in the office, and we were part of our. I believe we had just gotten done with our morning meeting, and you and I were talking. And I used to come to work when I was selling. I would come to work, and I thought the reason why I was selling so many roofs was because I had on boots, construction boots, steel toe work boots, jeans, and my work shirt and a hat, you know. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I fit the part, you know. A roofer who, you know, you come to your door. I wanted to try to keep it genuine and real, and I thought that was the way to do it. Well, what I was doing was actually devaluing myself, and not only myself, but the products and the company that I worked with, because we actually stand on more than you know. We are not even, you know, anybody. We have the installers, we have those construction workers, and then with the conversation that you and I had, Chuck, was you know, you were like, yeah, but don't you think that if you were to show up in a nice pair of shoes and possibly maybe not a pair of dress slacks, but, you know, some khakis or something, making yourself more presentable, you'd probably do a little better, right? And so I was like, you know, I could try it. I'll try it. And, you know, anything's worth a try, right? If you're not doing, if you're only here and you don't try, that's as far as you're going to go here. But if you just get out of that comfort zone and try a little harder, so I try something different, then what's going to happen is you're going to get here and you're going to say, okay, well, hell, I can do it here, doing it looking this way. I feel good about myself. So when you feel better about yourself, then what happens? You start doing better, and you start doing better, and the value in yourself and your mindset starts to raise, and you realize that you're worth a lot more than what you really are. in what you perceive to be, I should say. And so that was a huge mindset shift for me. And I'm always going to be so grateful and humble to you for bringing that to me. Now, it's something that Clint and JoJo and ASAP and the entire ASAP team and Rio team believes in, is being the best that you can ever be. And I still follow the same thoughts and same mindset as that. And we create value upon ourselves. If you're gonna do something, I could just be look, my name's already Chuck, right? I have a truck. I can be that person, but what's going to set me apart from being that person is something like this right here, the persona that I give off now, the aura that surrounds me. That's where my mindset's at now. And then, 3 years later, after that happens, I'm now sitting at Miami's GrowthCon with the Grant Cardone. And not only that, but I was not right up on stage. I had the opportunity to be just a little bit further back, but I wasn't all the way in the back, and that made me feel really good. I made a commitment to you, and I told you that I will be at GrowthCon, or not GrowthCon, but Grant Cardone's 10X conference. And so I said, what'd I say, 3 years? Is that what I told you, 3 years?
You said 3 years, and that was 2 years ago, by the way.
Okay, so yeah, I made it within those 3 years. And you told me, well, if you make it and we're down there in Miami together, I'll buy you dinner. And you held true to that. We had dinner that night. That was incredible. You, my wife, and myself. And I just felt good, man, being surrounded by not only you, but all your positivity as well.
Yeah, that was an awesome experience for both of us, because I never forget that. We were in that office and it was like, you know what? In 3 years, we are going to have dinner in Miami. And Chuck and I both were very specific about it. We're going to have dinner in Miami. And we did. That was what, February this year? I travel so much right now. Yeah, you were down there for 10X. I was down there for Lee Hates conference, and they just both happened to be at the same time. And we made that thing happen. And that was really a special time for me too, because, like I said, Chuck, I've seen you from the first day we met. Like, that dude doesn't exist at all. Yeah. And that was only 2.5 years ago. Like, that guy is completely gone. You completely, transformed yourself, changed your entire persona, your mindset. And, TaylorMade Roofing and Construction is a legitimate company. I see the stuff that you're doing. You're putting nice video ads together. You're, getting a bunch of stuff going for you. And I can't tell you enough how proud I am. I've got some buddies in this industry. I put you right up at the top of this list, but I was talking with my friend Kevin Burrell yesterday, and I just asked Kevin if he'd ever met you. And he said, no, he never had. He remembered that we were telling that story on our podcast a couple weeks ago. And one thing I want to do before it's all said and done is I want you and Kevin Burrell to meet each other and talk, because his story is not, nobody has the same story, but you guys have a lot of stuff in common. And I think you're overcoming adversity in life in spite of the fact, like you said, at 4 years old, life started coming at you pretty hard. And going through everything and then coming out on the other side is one of the most inspirational stories I've ever seen. I can't tell you enough, man. You're a special person, Chuck, and I think the world of you. I'm happy to have you here on our Keepin It Rio, just so that, just cause I told you were going to be on here. I also want to say real quick that we did a conference kind of deal at Rio Blanco and College Station back in January, I guess. And Chuck was a featured speaker. He took the time out of his day to talk with my team, which we had probably about 20 or 25 people down there. And I appreciate that so much. Like, one thing that really at this point in my life and my career that means more to me is people like you, or any of the people that I talk with on any given day who call me up and ask me for advice, or just shoot a message and say, hey man, I hope everything's going good. We're so lucky to be in an industry that's just filled with tremendously amazing people. And it's also it's a very forgiving industry, you know. A lot of people that I know that have redemption stories did it through what we do. And having that opportunity and that avenue means the world to me. So I appreciate you coming on here tonight, Chuck. We're about to wrap this thing up. We're coming up on the hour, but thank you so much. If anybody is in Morgantown or any of the surrounding areas, how they go about getting a hold of Tailor Made Roofing and Construction?
It's Tailor Made Roofing and Construction LLC. Just look for the reviews. They tell you everything. But it's 317-353-5467. Our office number is 812-512-9840. And or you can reach me at chuck@tailormaderoof.com. Or you can also go to our Facebook page, leave me a message, and I'll respond right away. If I don't, it'll be within an hour is when I'll get back with you. Always accessible. If you ever need anything, just reach out to me. And you know, we don't have competition in this industry, do we, Chuck?
None whatsoever. My competition is the dude I look at in the mirror every morning.
Every morning. We have associates and friends, and that's what I consider everyone, you know. And that's what I was taught, and that's what I base everything else off of. You know, I love everyone in the industry. And
everyone,
ASAP family, Rio family. I appreciate every single one of you guys on a daily basis, because JoJo, Clint, and Leanne, if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in right now, just by accepting the opportunity that you guys offered. And I'll forever be grateful to you guys. Always, always. And Chuck, it's been an honor. It's always an honor to be in the room with you, and in your presence. And Jeremy, I hope you continue to kill it out there where you're at. Eric, keep pushing forward, man. All you guys are doing great, man. And all it takes is commitment and dedication.
Thank you, sir.
That's pretty much it, you know. And this guy right here is definitely the definition of that. So, Chuck, thank you very much, my friend. We'll probably have you back on here at some point in the future, because we just scratched the surface. But thanks for taking the time to be on here with us. It means the world to us, and we sincerely appreciate you, my friend.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good night.
You too, Chuck. Thank you. All right, Chuck Taylor, everybody. Tailor Made Roofing and Construction. That's pretty hot story right there. I told you guys it was going to be inspirational. So that's pretty stellar. Let's wrap this bad boy up. We're coming up on an hour. I know Eric's been wanting to take a nap for like the last 52 minutes. I'm going to go to Eric, because poor Eric, man, outside of having the sweet haircut and getting the early call, Eric's just been a trooper, man. He's just been sitting there. I've been watching you the whole time. I need to get you in on the action. So Eric, what is your final word for this episode number 14? And I do want to mention this is episode 14 because I got bored on Sunday and I did a whole episode 13 on my own. So it's not a video one. It's only on audio, which is like Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, Amazon, wherever you find your podcasts, go check that one out, because I still see fire coming out of the speakers. It was amazing. So Eric, what you got, buddy? Sorry.
What does the
For what?
guy have to say?
What?
Somebody actually called me out today and asked if I was the Kaboom guy. They saw me. They saw our break online and looked me up on Facebook, and he saw me in public and go, "Are you the Kaboom guy?"
That's awesome.
Wow. It's kind of funny.
Change your name.
I guess. Final words. Everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
I love it.
If you want to change, you got to be the change.
Good stuff. I think we have one of those in our office, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you very much, Eric Kaboom Shugel. I think it's cool that you're getting recognition, because honestly, your face is never on camera. So they must have saw your hands and be like, "Oh my gosh, it's the Kaboom hands," or they just heard the melodic tones of Kaboom, Kaboom.
I just posted the break on something, and they saw it was Eric Shugel posted it, so they probably looked at my profile.
There you go. See, hey. Social media, it's far-reaching. Someone in a random location knew who you were based on it. Solar Joe, my friend, with a wonderful frozen face, looking like $1 million. What would you like to say to end Keeping It Rio, episode 14? JoJo just went straight, like the lights went out.
You did what we were gonna do?
I had a good question for Chuck too.
For who? Chuck Taylor?
Yeah, we'll get him next time.
Man, Eric, what was your question? Check this out.
No, it's okay. Oh, nice.
Chuck, we got one more question for you, buddy.
Because you never gave it. I never had the chance.
Yes, you did.
So Chuck, no, you asked Jeremy, got it. You never got to me, and it was all over.
Okay, we'll go back and watch the replay because I clearly said Eric, Jeremy, or JoJo, but
and Jeremy got it.
Jeremy was the only one that stepped up.
Hey, Chuck, here it is. Ready?
Gotcha.
You have the whole world's attention for 30 seconds. What are you telling us all?
I'm telling you, every day is a new day. Be better than you were the day before. Seek greatness in yourself and just know that anything's possible. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. I mean, you'll never get there if you don't try.
Kaboom.
Boom, baby.
I knew that Kaboom was going to end that because that was fire for sure. So, Chuck, thank you for coming back on for that. Eric, thank you. Sorry, Chuck. I just cut you off mid like full send thing. I apologize. That's kind of my thing. So, Eric, you're the man. Jeremy, final words for episode 14, Keeping It Rio.
Let's make tomorrow better than today and go Cowboys. We're going to get that win tonight.
I see Eric laughing, but I'm going to say this.
Tell him.
Oh, look, Eric's laughing so hard he froze. Like, I'm going to say this about tonight. Now, last week, I do want to mention that my Buckeyes did cover the point spread, and we did beat the over. You should have always taken the over when you're dealing with the best offense in the country. I'm just saying, and one of the worst defenses. So we're good for giving up and scoring a lot of points.
Just because our guy got hurt. That's the only reason.
I mean, but it did happen. So it was a spirited game. I enjoyed it. It was cool. Like I said, we're friends again. I don't think Minnesota's beaten Ohio State in either of our lifetimes. So it's cool, kind of what we expected. It's like knowing at a red light that it's going to turn green and you're going to get to go again. So that's kind of what happened. So, Jeremy, how would you like to end episode 14, Keeping It Rio, on your Shure M7 MV7 podcast microphone that sounds like gold?
Does it sound good?
Oh my gosh, dude! Like, look at Eric. I mean,
blowing Eric some kisses because
Eric's gonna have to go get one of these because he's like, oh man, Chuck gave me the one, but we're gonna have to up it a little bit. So, what's the final word for you, my friend?
Yeah, for me, it's always just always be better than you were yesterday. So I like the let's make tomorrow better than today. Always try to learn something. Always be better than what you were the day. So I always try to learn something new if I can, and just try to be a better person. So the more people you help, the better you'll be, and that's it. Try to be a good person.
That's pretty much how we try to do things here. For me, the final word this week has just been progress and momentum. We're getting some stuff going, getting things built up. We've got a really amazing opportunity with this new solar company.
Yep.
I cannot wait till we're able to go out and really fully serve our clients with that stuff. Here, Jeremy, I got one for you. There's Joy. She says, you truly live that, which is absolutely true.
Ooh, Joy, shout out to Joy. Thank you.
Hey, Joy, you finally got a shout out from someone other than me. That's awesome. Just know that we all appreciate you, but there you go. I just want to say thank you to everybody. I want to thank Chuck Taylor because, like I said, man, that guy, that's a great story. It was condensed, but that's a great story of perseverance. And I guarantee you 5 years ago, Chuck Taylor probably would have told you he's not going to be running his own successful business. But that's a dude that doesn't give up and didn't stop and just kept going and going and going. And I couldn't be more proud. I do want to give a shout out as well to my friends over in Oklahoma City, 777 Roofing and Construction. Got a chance to go over there, fly out on Friday, or I flew out on Thursday after our show last week. Spent the day Friday with that team and had a really great time. They've got a great group over there. Came back with some cool stuff. Got Jeremy a book from another guy who's going to be on our show at some point that has an amazing story as well. So one thing I know is I know a lot of people that have overcome adversity and are really doing great in life. But I want to thank those guys because it was so amazing. I got basically 4 hours to myself with the sales team. And I mean, we covered a lot of territory, covered a lot of stuff. And what I really liked was seeing how everybody in that room was taking notes. They wanted to go and implement what we were teaching them. And you know that if that can just help one person be better, it was worth all the time and effort. But I want to thank those guys. I want to thank everybody that's here at Rio Blanco. We get creative sometimes. This week we had to bring some materials from one part of Texas to another to satisfy one of our jobs. And we were able to do it because we understand that, you know, excuses are everywhere. All you have to do is figure out a way and make it happen. And we do that a lot. So proud of everybody on my team, proud of Rio Blanco. Can't wait for the solar. And I just want to thank everybody. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll be back next week at 6 on Keepin It Rio. There is a bonus episode 13 that's buried in the audio versions. So if you guys want some amazing fire content that came directly from me, you know where to find it. And while you're there, you might as well subscribe and download all the episodes too, because trying to get paid off this. So thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Jeremy's trying to get us body armor. I'm trying to get us that. And I'll give a shout out to Kevin Burrell at Burrell Roofing because that's the mug that's in front of me. So
yeah, I need one of those.
Rio Blanco. I'll get you one. No worries. And obviously, Eric is Rio Blanco to the core. He's got the number in the back. If you need to contact Eric, you know, 903-881-0801. That's Rio Blanco. Tyler.
Shout out to the barber. Shout out to his barber.
Yeah, that's a tight fade. I mean,
looking good.
Coming from a guy that walks around with a natural tight fade, I can appreciate that. So that's awesome. We're going to wrap up Keeping It Real. I was going to have JoJo, but I figure he's probably eating dinner. So he bounced. Thanks to Clint, JoJo, everybody that was on today's show. And we will be back next week at 6. And who knows, we might drop another like bonus episode or 3 just when we get bored. So thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. And that is Keeping It Rio. Give the Cowboys a round of applause, Chuck. Hold on. Oh, I knew it. We're talking about the Cowboys. Yep. I'm about to make some people mad, and I will say that I'm rooting for the Cowboys tonight because Tom Brady went to the University of Michigan. That's all I could say. So, but when I say, what did you want me to say? The Cowboys are going to win? Yeah. That's all we got. So anyways, we're going to go watch the game. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next week on